Today we'll be replacing the rear fender on an Apollo Air. The tools you'll need to complete this repair are electrical tape, flush cutters, 3mm Allen key, 4mm Allen key, a Phillips head screwdriver, and a precision screwdriver. So in order to change the rear fender, the first thing we're going to need to do is uninstall all the screws securing the fender to the frame. To do that, we need to remove these 3 rubber stoppers. To do that, I am using a precision screwdriver. Any tool that is just long and skinny will work if you have a very thin Allen key or something like that. So I'm just going to poke down and pry them up. Next, I'm going to take my 4mm Allen key and uninstall these 2 screws. Now those screws are uninstalled. You can see there's some wiggle room. However, there's still the screws in this front where we remove the rubber stoppers. Those are secured with Phillips head screwdrivers. So I'm going to take Phillips head screwdriver. Now these 3 screws are removed. Our next step involves flipping the scooter over. We need to remove this bottom plate in order to complete this repair. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the kickstand using a 3mm Allen key. Now I can take my 4mm Allen key and remove the screws. Now all 6 screws are removed. I can pop this up. Note that the cable for the charging port will tether you to the frame of the scooter. As long as you have enough room to rest this plate, that's no problem. We don't need to disconnect that. Plate comes off, no problem. And we can see the electronics inside the scooter. This does 2 things for us. This allows us to free the wheel to give us better access to changing the fender, as well as giving us access to the rear tail light, because that will need to be changed as well. Your new fender should come with the new tail light already installed. So in order to install that tail light, we need access to these connectors. So now with our Phillips head screwdriver, you can remove the only 2 screws securing the fender to the body still. And you can see underneath, my fender is just hanging. So now that our fender is uninstalled, the last step is just to cut the heat shrink here. This is the wire that goes to the tail light or the brake light on the scooter. Because your replacement fender will have the tail light already installed, we need to change this as well. So we can unplug this, hold the fender, push it through the slot. There's our old fender. So now we're going to install our fender. First thing I'm going to do is take the taillight assembly, or the taillight wire, and put it up to this hole. I'm not going to connect it yet. The first thing I'm going to do is install some screws to secure the fender to the frame. The last 2 screws we uninstalled are going to be the first ones we install. Now the fender isn't super tight, but it is staying onto the body of the scooter. So now I have the cable for the tail light. I'm going to come bring it into this hole with this gasket. We're also going to fit this motor cable into that slot as well. And just push it down. It's not going to look super perfect, but once the bottom plate goes on, it'll keep it nice and secure. Now that I have the motor cable of the scooter in that slot, I can go ahead and connect the tail light where it needs to go. I'm going to cover that connection with electrical tape. So now that's in, it's plugged in. I can put the plate of the scooter back. Note that there are 6 holes without screws in them. That's because the external shell will screw into those holes. We want to make sure this charging port cable goes along the side and not over top. When it goes along the side, it allows the shell to sit properly on the frame of the scooter. Now we can keep going with our kickstand. I like to leave some slack so that the kickstand can still pivot, which allows me to line up the other side more easily. Now we're ready to flip the scooter back onto its front side. Now I'm ready to reinstall the screws from the top. So I'm going to take these ones, the Phillips head screwdriver. If those are done, I'm going to take my 3 rubber pieces. 2 of them are longer, 1 of them is shorter. The 2 longer ones go on the back, and the shorter one comes in the front. And when you put them in, they should almost disappear. To the untrained eye, someone who's not seen a scooter before, it should look like these are just one continuous plastic shell. So the final 2 screws on the side here, using my 4mm Allen key. Fender's nice and strong, secure onto the frame, and that's how we change the rear fender on an Apollo Air.